Okay, this is another episode of Acting Lessons for Real Life. Okay, so, um, first thing in the morning is going to be the scene, and the story is of the person we call Uncle. Uncle is, he's one of the characters here on this channel, and Uncle is going to wake up and King Clancy, you won't see King Clancy, but King Clancy is going to be bothering Uncle. King Clancy is going to do what's known as the pounce. And if you ever go into a furniture store, you know that the furniture salespeople, if they don't already have a customer, they're going to stand close to the door and watch. And there's a certain order, whose turn is the next turn, and it's your job to pounce on the customer. And that's what King Clancy does to Uncle first thing in the morning. Now, acting lessons for real life, I've done a whole series of these ones, and the actor has to choose how to respond to another actor's interaction. And in today's episode, Uncle dropped the ball because King Clancy came in, and King Clancy dropped the ball first. King Clancy came in and did his usual shtick, the same routine, and that was a flaw in our opinion because he does the same thing over and over again. He should do something new. But anyway, it's a given that King Clancy is going to drop the ball. He never listens to acting lessons for real life. But Uncle, Laurent came on earlier and said, yes, normally Uncle gets a pass for having originality, but he flunked today because he's done this routine many times where King Clancy does something mean-spirited and Uncle gets morose. And Laurent said, no, I'm sorry, that's been used and done. Do another take. Do another take. So anyway, the whole point of it is don't get into repetitive shticks with people. There was a famous movie where Walter Matthau, the actor, played with another character in, it wasn't Broadway, but it was, maybe it was, but they did this act. It was like Walter Matthau played a doctor, or a clowning doctor with a bimbo nurse, and he did the same story for 75 years. And, his acting partner, another man, hated it, got so revolted seeing the same thing done over and over and over again. So that's what happens with your audience. If you and the people in your family or the people you live together, roommates, always do the same shtick, in other words, you have the same words that come out day after day, it's terribly boring. But you can use this sometimes to create a comedy act if you have something fresh in it. Maybe you need a twinkle in your eyes when you say what you're going to say, what you've said, here's your coffee. Twinkle in the eyes or something. Or you could, put salt in the coffee or nutmeg or booze or something in the coffee to make it a little bit weird to get a reaction from someone rather than just plain old coffee. Anyway, that's the story. And so now you're going to see the clip of King Clancy already did his shtick, and it's Uncle's reaction. And then we were going to do another talk and wearing a toque, and then we got cut off. And I can't remember what we were going to talk about. So I have to go back and review. I don't want to tell you anything because I don't want to complain. But I've got King Clancy here, and King Clancy wants to talk to you directly. Okay, so this is the way it works. You don't want to hear about King Clancy, and you don't want to hear about what's going on with me and King Clancy. You're going to say it's just a schoolgirl fight in the parking lot. It's not the parking lot. It's at the place where they go for recess in grade 4. Anyway, the point of the matter is I'm tattling. I'm tattling because King Clancy keeps bugging me. And it's not like school where eventually you get out of the grade and King Clancy is no longer around you. King Clancy is actually velcroed himself to you, and me. And so now you're in the middle of it. King Clancy has put velcro on him and velcro on you, and he won't leave. That's what it's like for me for years. King Clancy, King Clancy, King Clancy. What do I want to do? I want to delete King Clancy from existence. I don't know how. I don't know how. And tattling is what he wants me to do. He wants me to tell you how horrible it is to have King Clancy in your life. Nevertheless, it's true. I hate King Clancy, and I wish King Clancy was deleted from existence. How do you do it? I don't know. I used to feel this way about Rumpelstiltskin. I wanted King Clancy to be deleted, and I wanted Rumpelstiltskin to be deleted. These horrible things attach to you like Velcro. Horrible nightmare things, and you can't get rid of them. And they want you to tell their stories. They constantly want you to do things. They force themselves on you. They're mental rapists. And when you tell them to go, they won't leave. That is by definition mental rape because they're in your head. That is what it's like when you've got demonics around you, and there is no cleansing and protection around these things. Nothing works. Trust me, after all this time, everything that ever came my way that was tried never works. It'll drive you insane. It's instead of having someone's head right here next to you, the head is actually inside of you. That is what it's like. There is no space between you and Clancy. Clancy overlays himself directly over top of you in your exact same space, and he stays there all day and all night, and he brings bad dreams, and he's very uncomfortable. He never stops talking all day long. He is a classic torturer. You call him Joseph Mengele because he loves to torture you, and he'll never leave. And you can call on every angel and archangel in the whole hierarchy, and none of them come. You can say, I'm in the presence of I don't know who you want to try. It doesn't seem to matter. Who's the best exorcist there is? I'm in the presence of the best exorcist there is, and I'm asking for removal of King Clancy from my space, and I want to be disconnected by the telepathy and telekinesis that King Clancy has hooked me up with. And also, I never want to be hooked up with Rumpelstiltskin neither. It's all very difficult to tell you, but these ones never come. And every day I wake up and there's King Clancy again. King Clancy often sounds like Clancy Wiggum, the chief of police from The Simpsons. It's a voice it uses. It's a horror. It's a horror. Everything that keeps going on in this world is added to King Clancy. No one wants to tell you that life living with King Clancy, someone who's decided to basically move into your mind and body illegally against your will, is very unpleasant at best. King Clancy wants to say at nighttime when he puts me to bed, he's nice. I want to tell you, it's not nice. It's a sign of someone who is the ultimate psychopath, narcissist, that moves into your space and treats you like you're an infant. That's what it's like. I hate Clancy. I've said a million times, if I could, I would delete it. And then later in the day, it gets me to tell it, no, I won't delete you. I won't. It basically is endless mind control. It is trying to break you down. It breaks you down into alter egos to find an alter that will accept it. It is MK Ultra. And who is running this one? The answer is no one knows. But it's classic MK Ultra. It's classic gang stalking. It is using Tesla wave technology, scalar wave technology, using items that belong in the lower astral, demonic, and forcing them on you day after day. Who's up to doing things like this? Donald Trump is up to this. Donald Trump has pardoned war criminals in his army. Donald Trump is up to doing things like this. If you vote for Donald Trump, you are voting for basically Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin to be your leader. I'm telling you, it's very bad karma to have Adolf Hitler voted in as your president. You're insane to vote for Donald Trump. And I understand that the Democrats often put up equivalent to Donald Trump kind of people. However, I don't think Bernie Sanders is going to pardon war criminals. So if you're looking for my recommendation, I'm going to say if you have to have someone to go up against Trump who is basically a good person, it's Bernie Sanders. So don't remind anybody, but I am not an American citizen and I'm not voting in that election. But if you want a recommendation from someone outside of your country, they're going to tell you, why on earth would you put Pol Pot or Idi Amin or any other rogues gallery of leaders in as your president? It's not a good sign if you're putting in someone who is pardoning war criminals. This is a really big red flag. Don't use Donald Trump as your president. The man is insane. That's your update. I'm Harry Weaver. So we were talking about the movie Stripes with Bill Murray. And the point of the matter is Bill Murray signed up for the Army. He got to boot camp and he didn't know who else had signed up. But once you signed up for the Army, you have to stick around, at least try to get through boot camp, and they're either going to flunk you and not put you in the Army, but you're stuck there for 6 weeks or whatever. And you don't know who's going to be in your group, and you're stuck with them for 6 weeks. And the point is that Uncle is stuck with King Clancy. It's been much longer than 6 weeks, and, they're basically foils for one another. King Clancy knows how to get under Uncle's skin, and Uncle, well, he needs a new response for King Clancy, and well, we didn't get it today, and Laurent, who was watching, pointed it out, and he knows King Clancy doesn't have anything new. It's not fair to King Clancy. Sometimes he does come up with something very brilliant. But first thing morning in the Pounce, it was a typical, it's been done about 1,000 times. So generally speaking, the audience, Laurent, said, you gave Uncle the flunk because Clancy was throwing a hard ball first thing in the morning at uncle's head. Anyway, that's the story. And for your acting lessons for real life, you're just to remember, watch yourself. And if you find that every day your interactions with regular people in your life are very stale, and you're not getting anything new, what I'm going to suggest is you go down to your thrift shop and buy some new hats and new t-shirts and new hoodies and maybe some new shoes. But basically, get t-shirts that have got sayings on them, hats that have got sayings on them, and get a whole pile because they're cheap at the thrift shop. Throw away all of these kind of ones because they're boring. These ones that have got something on them are something new that you can, catch people's attention. And don't wear the same one every day, like Charlie Brown or something. It's also good to have new magazines, new books. Um, well, in the old days we said newspapers. Maybe grab a newspaper. Just have some props. In other words, change the props that are in your apartment or your living room in your house so that you're not always looking at the same props that are so boring. Put some new things there. So, if you're bored and you don't know what to do, grab something that you see that's new and do a show and tell. So you're not stale and boring and you're interesting for your other acting partners in your house or apartment to play with. Someone also wants to say, it's Christmas time. What about Christmas spirits? Well, what I'm finding is that the old grandpas and grandmas are not drinking booze these days. And I'm understanding that the teenagers in their teen years are still getting into someone's liquor cabinets. Is it a good thing? How are you going to stop the teenagers from getting into someone's liquor cabinet? Lock it up. They're going to go to someone else's house who's got liquor. It's very difficult. The best thing you can do is have a talk with your teenager and say, when I was a teen, we got into liquor. And you're a teen, it's quite likely you're going to get into liquor. And rather than, me scolding you for drinking, um, you're probably going to pay for it with nasty hangovers, and that's enough. Once you have a hangover, you'll understand when I say that's, the punishment for booze is the hangover. And, but I don't want you to get in the car with someone who's been drinking. And I know it goes on for teenage years, so you don't have to be worried that I'm going to find out about it. I already told you I'm not going to punish you for drinking. The punishment is going to be in the hangover. You're going to feel horrible and sick. And you're going to go, oh, Dad, I know what you mean. That's why you didn't punish me, because the punishment comes with the booze consumption. So call us anytime, day or night. And if you need a ride home because everyone's drinking or you've been drinking, we'd rather pick you up, or we'll tell you to take a cab and we'll pay the cabbie when the cab gets you home or something. But we know this goes on, and don't pretend that it doesn't go on. And, we don't want a car accident. That's your update. They want to call me something new. I don't know. You could call me DJ Garrison. I'll be DJ Garrison. This is how I do it. I just look around, and this thing says Garrison on it. So, and the other one I was going to do was this one. And I was going to go direct drive. I thought direct drive was cuter, but someone overrode me. So, if you just want to make up some new names for yourself, just, see what catches your eye.